Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for coming. It's Mother's Day. Thank you to the faithful out there who are here to watch us. I have my wife, who's also a mother. Special show today to join us. I have Platform and my guy David McNiner down below. So we're gonna have a quick show. It's not gonna go too long, but it's gonna go long enough for us all to have fun. And we're gonna get into this. So thank you again for coming, Platform. If you don't mind, I'd like to introduce you. This is Lawrence. He's a great guy. He's got his own show. You can find him right there at Platform 246. If you are a faithful and you're not subscribed to the platform, you should go and do it right now because not only is he emotional, which is a good thing, he's honest, right?
Very much so. Very much so.
So, I mean, you can come in, you can hear, a hot take, and then the next day you wake up and it be true. That's Lawrence right there. So thank you, Lawrence, for coming.
Thank you, brother.
And I got David.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah. And we got David, of course. So how are you guys doing this morning? We'll start with you, Platform. Sorry.
Well, thank you, first of all. She is doing pretty good, man. I spoke to my mother just before this. So happy birthday, Mom. I love you. I wish I was able to see you today. Happy birthday again to you. Happy birthday. My mother's my mother's birthday actually was on Wednesday. So all my life, 40 years, we've had to deal with that. Some days they fall on the same day, Mother's Day and my mom's birthday. Literally, probably half my life, it literally would fall on the same day. We didn't short her though. We still got her a present for each. All right. So, but happy Mother's Day, Miss Tony, and happy Mother's Day to my mom. Happy Mother's Day to all people out there, every mother out there, and a special happy Mother's Day to anybody that's a faithful. You get a bigger one than the rest of those people. So Absolutely. Much love to everybody. What's up to my man David? How are you? And what's up to everybody in the comments? Appreciate y'all.
I'm great. I'm my mom's incredibly religious, so we do our Mother's Day stuff yesterday, so she can do her religion thing today. So it was great. It was great, and her big thing is she wanted me to give her lawnmowers a tune up and all this other stuff. So I got all that done, and she's all set now.
There you go.
So today is one of those days. If you're close to your mother, you should cook her breakfast, or if you cook her lunch, or dinner. That's something fun. I know there's going to be a lot of people out there barbecuing. Just as soon as we're done with the show, I think we're going to go to the park for a little bit, shoot some hoops, and then we might come back and barbecue, or maybe we'll do that first. We've been having a lot of fun. Me and my daughter Lily, we've been shooting hoops and burning off that little extra skin. I'm trying to get that dad body right before summer. But
that's right, that dad body.
If you don't get up and exercise every once in a while, you don't get those vitamins, and like the sun, it gives us a lot of energy just by being out. So definitely, guys, enjoy the show. We're streaming from both platforms, 246 platform, and we are streaming from this show. So please hit both of us up for a like. If you can share and subscribe, that's great. It's free. We like that too. So guys, let's go ahead and get into this. I have thrown out the big prediction. I don't think we've heard it from Tony yet. I'm going to say my big prediction, and we'll go through this maybe a little bit quicker. I'm thinking the Niners are a very strong team. We have a great schedule coming up. I know we're traveling a lot. It's like the second most miles in the NFL at this point, but I'm not worried about that necessarily. The guys can sleep on the plane. They can do stuff. Jet lag is an issue, but, isn't sleeping too much an issue too? Or, again, there's all these, intangibles. If you don't play the game, it's an issue. So right. I'm confident that the Niners are going to go 15-2. I know that's a bold statement, but I don't think anybody thought we were going to do as good as we did last year. And we had 3 different quarterbacks. I kept pounding my hand and saying, the defense is this good. It's this good no matter who's the quarterback. Jimmy, Trey, we got Brock Purdy. Now we got Sam. I mean, I think the defense is strong enough to carry this team. Last year we had Robbie Gould. We could at least say we can shut a team out. We did it with the Commanders, 9-0. We've done it with the Saints. We can shut teams out. We just have to have that. We just have to have the team just to believe in each other, right? So I'm going to say it 15-2 or better. Tony, what's your record?
14-3.
Okay. Platform, what do you think?
I'm gonna. I want to go with Miss Tony and say 14-3. That's what my heart kind of tells me. But my mind is 13-4. So I think I'm gonna go with mind over heart for today, for Mother's Day. Surprisingly, 13-4 for me. I think we slip up once or twice, maybe lose a game that we should not lose, i.e., maybe the Chicago game. From last year, that was a toss up. Whatever. So I think we end up losing a game that maybe we should not lose. And then the travel and just the overall. I'm gonna say 13-4.
And I think that's what you were going to say too, right, David? Like just about that, huh?
Yep. I've actually been on a couple streams where we went through and made the picks, and I ended up 14-3 in both of them. I honestly think we're a 12-14 win team. Minimum. And there's always variables that we don't, you never know what's going to happen as you go, and honestly, we are our, toughest opponent. That Chicago game, the 12 penalties for over 100 yards. I mean, we shot ourselves in the foot big time during that game. So as long as we play clean football and do what we do, we could win every game.
Agreed.
Absolutely, because it seems like the injuries and the penalties are what plague the Niners the most. It seems like not only does it slow the momentum down because the guys that you were relying on are either ejected because they did something or they end up injured, or the penalties set you back where you're on a third down conversion and you can't convert, or a fourth down conversion you can't convert, and just too many times you get too close to either get the first down that you need to keep the game alive and you end up turning the ball over, and don't need that. Need to have less of that this year.
So, Lawrence, what game have you been able to look at the schedule for the Niners this season?
I've looked it over, not in depth. I do plan on at some point kind of doing a breakdown show. So hopefully everybody can come through. With my sons and I. And by the way, as you all see the thumbnail, Bryant graciously invited my sons, but it's too early, and it's Mother's Day, so they were unable to come for the kids. Yeah. But thank you for that, by the way, for having them on. So, or I attempted to have them on with me. But yeah, we're going to do a breakdown show, probably my sons and I at some point in time. So I haven't got real in depth, and I don't want to get in my feelings. You know what I mean? But what was the question again? I'm sorry. What's the game I'm looking forward to most, or?
Yeah, basically, is there a game on the schedule that when you're quickly glancing over it, you're like, oh, that's the game that's the game, or is there maybe one or two games like that you might want to talk about here?
Well, for me, the game in LA early in the season, I want to try to get to that game. So that is one that stuck out for me right away because it was like the game against LA is the game that I always have the best opportunity to try to get to with my sons and I. So that one. And then just a few weeks later, the game against Texas. That's the one that's standing out to me. To be honest with you, I guess obviously being biased, right? I'm very, very confident in our football team, and Kyle and John, in really all three quarterbacks, even Samuel, because Kyle's supposed to be the whisperer, and then of course we have what's his name, our new quarterback. We have Greasy, and he really improved. I think all three of our quarterbacks last year. So I'm really excited about the season. Some people have looked at the schedule and they've specifically said, "Oh, this is a tough schedule. This is a tough schedule." And I mean, yeah, it is. But I mean, we're facing the Bengals and like all but 6 teams are in the playoffs. Like that's a mirage to me. Some of these teams are not good. They do not have quarterbacks that I feel are as good as Brock Purdy can be on a game basis. And so far, Brock Purdy's our best quarterback in the building. He's the one that showed the most. So I really don't have much doubt. I really want to be just silly with it and say we can run all 17 of those mugs. But I don't think that'll happen. As Tony said, there's a lot of variables that go into a game every week. So I'm not really too scared or worried about anything. I'm just very confident in the Niners, in the Niner gang. So the Dallas game, Texas game, that is, definitely want to see that one. and then towards the end of the year we have some really big games. I'm down for the Ravens game. That's going to be a payback game, even though it's not going to matter because it's not in the bowl. But it's payback game, and then of course the Washington State game on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, yeah, I think you nailed it for me too. The Washington State game, the Seahawk game, we have to play them. I'd love to see the Niners eat turkey off the field. It's been joked a couple times, like Jake Moody out there eating a big old turkey leg, especially if he wins it with his leg. I'd love to see that. Or like Bosa or Kittle. I mean, like Kittle running around with turkey bone in his mouth would be hilarious, I think. But
Absolutely.
I don't. That's the game I would really. Oh my gosh! If you could say which game do you want to win the most this season, I would probably say that game.
Yep.
And then I'd say the game that we're probably going to lose would be the game in San Francisco. Levi's against them, because it seems like they have our number in our stadium, and only it seems like once in a blue moon do we ever get lucky there.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
yes, you are right, Bebop. We did.
Yeah, we beat the Bengals in 2021. We beat them in 2019. I mean, we've had the Bengals numbers for a couple of years now. So but they've got a better offense, right? Everybody can say it. At least a passing offense, and we've had the most dominating run game in the league for almost the entire time we've had Kyle Shanahan, and we don't get any real true credit for that. They say, "Oh, you got a wizard for a coordinator," but it seems like, because we don't have that quarterback, we're not a prolific offense. So I don't necessarily think that's I don't agree with that, really. Because just because Joe Burrow can throw it down the field doesn't mean the Bengals are a better team than the Niners or offense. It just means they score points faster, right?
Correct.
David, what do you think? You got any questions for platform? I can keep going. I know I want to pass you the ball too, because I like you being here. You are my technical co-host,
and very knowledgeable.
And you got any questions for Tony too? Jump in. And again, thank you for both of you being here. I want to tell you guys my Super Bowl predictions, if you guys don't mind. After David, because I get carried away sometimes.
And there's nothing like having your wife to the side, right down the side of you. I'm sorry, David.
You're good. I actually want to talk about the bird hunt section of our season.
Perfect.
There are 5 games in a row where we start with the Seahawks, then it's the Eagles, then it's the Seahawks, then it's the Cardinals, which we should sweep the Cardinals, let's be honest. They're pesky. They always are, but we should sweep them. And then there's the Ravens. So I honestly look at the Ravens game like it's a potential L, and that depends on, can Lamar Jackson stay healthy? His playing style, running outside the pocket, and he doesn't get down, he takes the hits. So, if he's healthy by that game, I expect that to be a really good fight. And then, the Seahawks game at Seattle, it's the first game. Isn't it on Turkey Day? That's the game at Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm honestly, they always play us good and at Seattle, and we always have crazy things happen. So I honestly think we're going to be splitting the series with them this year and going 5-1 in the division. But the one thing I'm looking at here is the Eagles game. And last year, they had a great season. They went to the Super Bowl. They ended up losing. But, last year their schedule was kind of easy. This year, that's changing. They went from easy to one of the harder schedules in the league. So by the time we hit this game, we're going to know, if they're for real, if they're pretenders, or if they're real.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually looking forward to that game because, hopefully we're able to keep all our quarterbacks healthy, and we're able to. I'm just worried about always worried about our team's health. That's been a big issue since we moved to Santa Clara.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah, usually the health would be the main concern because usually at the end of the year, the Niners can do, like any other team, but we've seen the Niners either slow down because they're tired and just beat up, or they get together and the momentum picks up, and then we start seeing them kicking into gear, whether it's Brock Purdy or whoever is sitting behind center. It just seems to be like kind of that situation that happens all the time, or most of the time, anyways. So I'm definitely looking forward to that because I'm hoping for a great Christmas present of a Ravens loss because this is
Amen.
definitely a redemption game for the Niners because that loss of the Super Bowl still stings years after. And same thing with the Eagles. I hope we go into that stadium and smack them in the mouth because that still stings too.
Look at Tony with smack him in the mouth. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, when it comes to injuries, we all remember 2019, the Super Bowl run. So our defensive linemen that were on the roster heading into the playoffs. Did you know that we only had 4 guys out of that whole rotation that were on the 53-man week 1? It was D Ford, Armstead, DeForest Buckner, and Nick Bosa. The rest of the guys, the rest of the guys that started on the 53 went down and were gone.
Right. Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy, but
And
that's our luck, though.
Yep.
So, I like to think about it, like every year it's like Super Bowl or bust, right? Because since I've been a fan, we were the first to get 5 Super Bowls. We're commitment to not commitment to excellence. Take that back. That's the Raiders. That's the Raiders.
We get you.
Are right. So I gotta tell you, when people are like, "Oh, you got to the playoffs. Are you happy?" No, I'm not happy. I want to go to the Super Bowl. I want to see the Niners win the Super Bowl, not just get to the Super Bowl. But every year I always like to predict, and I don't care if it sounds like a homer or not. I do go through the schedule and honestly say, okay, looking at this year's schedule, there's between 2 to 5 games we potentially could lose if we just out and out lose because these teams could actually come to play. But for the most part, I think we can get to the Super Bowl. I think we can make it and we can win it. So my prediction for the Super Bowl, I think I've said it before, but I think the Niners are going to be playing the New York Jets. That's my early season prediction. I know a lot of people are going to be like, and I get it, but the Jets have good defense. They have a good quarterback now. I think they have a good coach. I think they could put it together, and I think they're going to have a lot of good games in that north up there. And you think about it, they beat Brandon Allen twice. They could beat, Patrick Mahomes, Tua, down there in the Dolphins. They could really, really be surprisingly good this year. Maybe not next year, maybe not the year after that, but this could be that year. And I would love to smack the Jets in the mouth. And like Tony said, beat the Jets in the Super Bowl. I think that would be.
It's more than beating the Jets, it's beating Aaron Rodgers again.
Yeah, and wouldn't that be like the ultimate, like beat him in a Super Bowl? So that's my dream.
Yes.
So
this is why I should came to the Niners, but that's okay.
So you got a
Tony
Super Bowl prediction, Lawrence?
I got a question.
Well, I would like to know, is Tony? Do you completely agree with your husband? With your husband? You want to go? You pulling for the Jets and Niners in the Super Bowl too?
I mean, I don't necessarily want to see the Jets and the Niners against. You want an exciting Super Bowl, and not to say that the Jets wouldn't be exciting because they do have a new head coach, I should say, our defensive coach. So they get a new head coach, and they do seem to have put some extra weapons in the defense, not so much in their offense, except for Aaron Rodgers. So it could be an interesting Super Bowl. And it would change it up from seeing the same, Patrick Mahomes or any of the other AFC consistent people showing up there. So I think it would be interesting.
But what would your pick be? Because I'm picking the Jets. Who would you like to see the Niners play in the AFC?
Well, if I had
for the Super Bowl.
I mean, it would be fun to see a Bay versus the Bay, but
oh my gosh, can you imagine that?
I'd like Super Bowl. See the Raiders and the Niners go to a Super Bowl so we can pick off Jimmy Garoppolo multiple times.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine that? Could you imagine Jimmy taking him to the Super Bowl? Right, Niner Twitter would be erupted with flames, and then we get there, and it come down to like a field goal, or we just barely win because we intercept them at the end.
No, we shut them out.
Or you shutting them out would be great, but you imagine if it was like, oh my gosh.
They have like
I
what?
can't
They
imagine
have,
that.
they have a couple
That's a
people
night.
that would be.
That's a nightmare.
No, go
Huh?
ahead.
No,
What
they
were
have
you gonna
a
say,
couple-
Miss Tony?
Well, they have the one wide receiver. What's his name? Adam. Who was Aaron Rodgers' wide receiver?
Adams.
Adams. So they have Adams, and then they have that Crosby guy. So they have one great player on their offense, one great player on their defense, and then those are the guys that really would be carrying the team for most of the time because it obviously wasn't the quarterback, and I don't see Jimmy carrying this team any more than Carr did. But it
Wow, what a prediction. So her Super Bowl dream would be the Niners versus the Raiders. And to her defense, we have a lot of family that are Raider fans.
would be
So
bring it back to the Bay.
that would be a super big party at my house. Super big party. What do you guys think? What's your prediction for the Niners Super Bowl if we get it? Lawrence, and then we'll go to David.
I honestly think. Well, I would like. There's a couple of matchups that I would love to see. I see Bebop just got a good one. Niners Bills. That's the one that I would probably love to see. That's a sleeper. I would love to see us against Josh Allen. But I think it's going to end up being old Patty. His brother, all that stuff. Everybody coming back to the Super Bowl again. Where is the Super Bowl held this year? Does anyone know? It's not in Las Vegas. Is it?
No, I don't think it's in last year. Yeah.
Last year.
I'm gonna Google it.
Wherever it's being held this year, I honestly feel that the Chiefs are going to get back there, and that's actually, I guess, my top team to face would be Kansas City. Give Kyle a chance to go back up against Andy Reid, and then give us a chance to, our defense to go back up against Patty. Yeah, Jackson is, yes, we know Spongy. Jackson is arrested, but I'm sure he's out by now. Yeah, I would say Chiefs, Ravens, Bills in that order for me. And then I'll throw in what you said for the Jets because, Aaron, we still don't regret it. We still don't regret it. So, yeah.
I think it's Arizona. Sorry.
The Super Bowl's being held at the Raider Stadium, Allegiant Stadium in Nevada.
I thought it was. Well, I live in Vegas, so I thought it was here this year. So even more so, Miss Tony, to see James run his team all the way to the Super Bowl, not have to leave, but have us come down here and take his life. Amen to that. Amen.
That would be great.
Go ahead, David.
My prediction is the Bills and the Niners. Because I think Josh Allen, this has been 2 years in a row their team has been good, made the playoffs, and haven't been able to get it done. And it comes a certain point in time where you got to get over the hump and you got to beat Patty Mahomes.
Absolutely.
The man has something to prove. And the Bills do have a very good football team. But when it comes to the NFC, a lot of people are like, oh, it's wide open. It's really not. It's really not. You got us, and I honestly think we are the best team in the NFC. Then the second best team, and I really don't want to say this, is the Cowboys, but they have I honestly don't know if they can get it done, because of their the head coach. And I don't have a problem with Dak Prescott, but he did throw 15 interceptions in 12 games last year. So we'll see if he's able to clean that up, or if he's just going downhill and he's in the twilight of his career. It could be. You never know, right?
Very much so.
And then the rest of the teams, you got the Eagles, which, like I said last year, they made the Super Bowl. I got to give them their props. They did it. They didn't win it, but their schedule wasn't brutal like it is this year. So we're truly going to see what they're made of.
I would agree.
I agree exactly with little Spongy right there. Little Spongy, yes. Shout out to you, little guy. You are the second best team, bro. David, I would have to say maybe the Cowboys are the third, but it goes Niners, Eagles, Cowboys. I agree with you, Spongy. You're my boy, Boo.
Look, much love to little Spongy, a 12-year-old Mac. Okay,
Yeah,
Spongy is
he knows
a
his stuff.
G. He does. Yes, he is.
And this year's going to be exciting because, for the past, I want to say since Kyle Shanahan has taken over, there's been kind of like a pattern of how these Niners have been playing year after year. And each year it does seem to get better, except for the years that we get plagued with the injuries. But it seems like, the defense, obviously, we're number one now. And we've been number one for quite some time. But, now it's official where, people on the sports channels are, oh, man, number one defense. And our offense isn't that bad, especially with the different guys. I mean, we lost McGlinchey. So hopefully McKivitz, if he's going to be the one taking McGlinchey's spot, is not going to be the guy we're going to see body slammed on his back. Hopefully we can get those guys to be a little bit stronger, long enough for the quarterback, whoever that be, get the ball to wherever it needs to be, because that kind of seems to be what slows down the momentum for the offense, because the defense can only do so much as far as, holding it together. It can work hard and get the ball back to the offense, but if offense isn't going to be doing anything with the ball, you can't just get the ball just to turn it over or give it back to kick it off, because we need to make the scores, and there's only so many picks the defense can get. Now, I'd like to see our defense get more picks because, sometimes by relying on the defense, those picks and the touchdowns that come with it would definitely help because, we need some points. And I'm just hoping that whether it be Trey or whether it be Brock, sometime between the two of them, we can just make it and just both of them stay healthy. And I'd like to see Trey go all the way, because if he was supposed to start last year, give the guy a shot to see if he can make it. And then, just in the business world, if the guy doesn't seem to be proving what his worth is in the first couple of games, then unfortunately he would have to do the right thing, and, step out for Mr. Purdy to come in, who hopefully can continue to do what he did last year. Because all you need is a quarterback to stay healthy. They have all the weapons that are surrounding them. It's not like a quarterback can't make it on this team. The quarterback just has to be confident and consistent and, not be like Jimmy, where you had the happy feet in the pocket and freak out because you have the pressure on you, because you have to handle the pressure. The guys, they know they don't want the Niners to succeed. They're going to come after your quarterback. They're going to run through your line. They're going to smack your quarterback. They're going to beat you up. And we just can't keep allowing that, because for so long, we have the same core, and these guys aren't going to be here for very long, because in this business, we lose guys because they get, outpaid. We can't pay them anymore because we can't afford them, or because of the injury situations. I mean, Trent Williams is 34 years old, and he's the best guy on our offensive line right now. And, he's only got so many more years left in him. And, they don't want to leave this organization broken, because they have lives that they need to continue to be able to enjoy also. But I think also these guys just know that, if we're either going to make this Super Bowl with the people that we have and the changes and the transitions that they went through, now, especially with D'Amico Ryan's gone, hopefully this Wilkes guy can either be that missing piece, even though our defense wasn't necessarily the situation that needed the missing piece with. I just hope that whatever it is that the Niners need, I hope that this is the year that they seem to be able to have plugged that piece in, because they have all the right potential to get to the Super Bowl and actually win it. They just have to believe in themselves, and, Kyle, don't be too fancy with the play calling, and, just be confident out there and don't turn the ball over. That really hurts when they turn the ball over. You can go down with the ball or throw the ball away, but don't lose it. Don't fumble it. Don't let them strip sack you. I just want to see something better. And I do believe that this year is going to be a lot like last year, but much better because of the improvements that they have made.
Well said. I would like to get you guys' thoughts real quick.
Preach.
Yeah, she nailed it.
Preach, Tony.
Almost every position on our team is a superstar minus quarterback.
Yep.
And I'm not
crazy.
We can't have a superstar there, but we don't have the quarterback, sexy guy, in the league, right? That's on a different team. Well, again, that could happen, but at this point, we don't have our quarterback's not the face of our franchise. So I think it's really, really interesting. Like what she's saying is our window is there. We have all these good guys right now. A core, we built this team from, nothing, right? The Chip Kelly, the Jim Tom Sula, we know what happened there. Everybody left. Kaepernick left. Everybody left. So with that, we had nobody, and now we've got on all these guys that we built from the draft, and now we're ready. We are ready. We're ready faster than what we thought we were going to be ready too. And now we have all these guys, and they're at almost the top of their league, the top of their position.
Primal.
They are at their prime, and we're ready to go. So I think it's really interesting, and this is my question, with us transitioning off of tackling corners like Jimmy Ward, and us losing maybe like Tart, let's go into now maybe like ball hawking corners who are going to be more emphasizing to try to catch the ball and get the turnover. Do you think our defense takes a step back or a step forward? We'll start with you, Lawrence, and then we'll go to David.
David? Start with me. I think it's a step forward. What I've been thinking, over the last week, and especially after I got to see his first interview, is what if Steve Wilkes is better than D'Amico Ryans? What if he has, the experience come into play for him? And as you asked specifically right now, Brian, and by the way, shout out to Aaron. Aaron saying what's up to everybody. Shout out to Joe E. How y'all doing? He's a secondary or a DB's coach for the majority of his career, or that's what his background is primarily in. And what better thing do we need right now? We have the best linebacking core in all of football. It doesn't matter what conference you're in. We have arguably the best line. What's up to David? Arguably the best line in all of football. What we need obviously is secondary help, and as you said, very well put together. Transitioning from a tackling secondary to a ball hawking secondary. And that looks like the players that we're starting to try to sign now. We all saw Huff. He can get the ball. Also, Gibson last year, he could get the ball. So we want Mooney Ward can do it, and hopefully some of the people that we drafted this year as well. And I would much rather we turn into an intercepting secondary as opposed to, okay, we're going to make all the tackles when the running backs get past Fred. Okay, that's cool, but we want the ball. You need the ball to score. So I think that's really the best thing that we could do for our secondary is to try to transition it from, obviously solid tacklers, very good tacklers. Jimmy Ward was a great tackler. And we don't really have anyone on our team that's to tackle. So that's great, but we need to get more people on the team that got the stick them on their hands and get the ball back to either Brock or Trey. Get the ball back to Kyle. More so.
Thank you, David. What do you got?
So turnovers are a department that we, before last year we were kind of lagging in. We had a great defense, but when it comes to turnovers, we weren't the best team. So it's something that we definitely need. And when it comes to the Hargrave edition, and I honestly think Drake Jackson taking a step forward. We have Kalia Davis, which we don't quite know what he's going to do, but I honestly think he's going to be a DJ Jones type of guy, able, good for 4 to 6 sacks, but going to be stuffing that run. I think our defense takes a step forward because the ball hawking defensive backs, they're not going to necessarily, the quarterback's not going to have much time to make a decision, so he's going to be throwing. He's going to be trying to throw into tight coverage. They're going to be, making mistakes because they're under pressure. So I honestly think it's a big step forward for us. And I got to say hi to the chat. I mean, look at all these people we got, man. We got 49ers First Takes Aaron. We got Niners Ultimate Report John J. Bebop. We got Minor Niner. We got PC David Corona. We got Raphael 562 Niners. I'm going to be missing people. I'm going to be missing people. We got Lil Spongy. We got Carcast. The GOAT. Corey Davis is up in here.
What's up, Corey?
Yeah, this chat's fire.
There's somebody in here named Tommy. Don't say anything to him, though.
Oh, yeah.
Don't talk to him.
Tommy Huxley, the camel with
Don't
two
talk
humps.
to him. Bye, Tommy. What up, Tommy?
Tommy's our favorite. He's the guy that comes in and will crack some jokes, and sometimes you gotta tell him.
He treats me like garbage. Bad. He treats me bad every day. He treats me bad. He treats me bad on Facebook. Even.
Shout out to Bryant and Tony. I love my coffee cup.
Oh man, appreciate it. So what we're doing is we have these morning shows, and Lawrence, I think you've seen it a couple times. We all like coming on with a cup of coffee. I would like you to come on more
Yes.
and more. We'll get you a cup, so you got a cup at the house that you can,
I love
drink.
that. You guys are awesome.
And what we would like
Thank
to do, because this is a lot of fun here, but what me and Tony are both doing, we're getting our feet wet in the YouTube gang, and I'm a little closer to 100. So when we get to 100 for the Bryant Culp channel, we are going to do a cup giveaway. So everybody in the chat, if you guys want to help promote this, or you want to enter yourself a chance, you guys be subscribed to the Bryant Culp channel, and we will be doing something like this or something a little bit more clever, like what we got with David. David's got a really David, will you show your cup one more time?
Oh yeah.
That's a nice
Show the
one.
cups. It's cup time.
Yeah.
I love this coffee cup.
So that's a
It's
picture.
so
Hello, faithful.
awesome.
It's a picture with your name on the back of it, and on the other side, it's a picture of, I think, what, Candlestick?
Candlestick Stadium.
Yep, Candlestick. So that right
I
there,
love
that is
it.
a true faithful cup, and I couldn't think of a
Absolutely.
better cup.
Absolutely, it is.
So again, we're going to do a cup giveaway, but yeah, Lawrence, we definitely want you to come on again and bring your coffee, bring your boys. They want to drink some hot chocolate, whatnot, whatever. That's fine. But we definitely like this. So let's
Thank you.
get a couple more minutes if you guys want, and then we'll go ahead and jump out of here. So everybody can go make the mama some breakfast, or I can make my lovely Tony here breakfast. But again, man, Sundays, everybody, we're glad you're here. We really we're streaming on both platforms, so if you guys want to jump back and forth and give everybody a like, that'd be great. And as we're talking, we are blessed. We are blessed. I know you guys have heard this guy before, and I gotta say, if Juice isn't captain, we're gonna riot. Well, the new phrase is if CMC isn't making rioting. So shout out to the notorious Gav. We are. Oh, and Damien Lee.
Gavin. From
Gavin.
Across the pond, somewhere in the continental UK. I don't know if he's still in Wales.
Yeah, I want to say he's in Wales. Maybe he can tell us where he's at exactly. But yeah, Gavin's a big 49er fan on the UK side and a big Juice Check fan. And he's also a CMC. Yep, he just said it. CMC or maybe.
CMC is
Saw
captain.
Damien Lee in enemy territory right down the street
Damien.
from Cowboys.
What's up, Damien?
Yep, from the Cowboys Stadium. Yeah.
I love it. Damien Lee coming in saying Forrest Gump is smarter than the Cowboys fans. I mean, you can't argue with that.
I would agree.
So, chat is definitely popping. So, hey, do you guys have any questions, or do you? I can definitely come up with another question. But Tony, what is your overall thoughts on the kicker situation?
So the kicker situation, can't 100% say that, oh yeah, this guy is it. But from the looks of it, as far as you look back at his stats for college, and then you look at what he's producing so far in his couple days in training camp, it seems to be definitely promising. I mean, if anybody can come in as a kicker and be just as good, if not better than Robbie, then I know we're going to be doing great. You can't ever really expect anybody to come in and be better than Robbie, but if this young guy can come in and prove that, I mean, he's already booting the balls out of the stadium over the nets and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, if he can come out there with the same leg on game day, I think we're going to be fine. And, hopefully we don't wear his leg out because, the offense can't pull it through. We just need to use that leg when we need it, and hopefully it never fails us every time we need it. I'm looking forward to Moody. I really am, because the kicker, our position, kickers do matter. And a lot of people, would say that, they're maybe an insignificant piece. But at the end of the day,
Not at all.
When you go and win a game and it happens to be off that kicker's leg, they do matter. And they shouldn't only matter because the 3 points that they made won the game. They should matter just like any person that starts on the offense, any person that starts on the defense, because they are special teams for a reason. We end up going out there, and when our offense and defense are tired or lacking, the kicker comes out and saves us. And we don't want to have a season where the kicker is the only reason why we're making the wins. But it's nice to know that you have that backup plan when the offense isn't putting the scores up, or the defense isn't, helping to contribute to the score. At least, second half, special teams can come in and give us at least 3 points. Don't miss the free points for after the football kick. That when you miss a kick, Robbie, he was really good, but there was those times where I've noticed that when the kick really
Mhm.
mattered, missed. He make all the other ones that didn't really be needed. Any point you get is needed, but there was a couple times where you're like holding your breath because it's the kick that you need. You need the 3 points or you need the 1 point, and Robbie comes out and you're like, oh, don't miss it, don't miss it. But he's been pretty solid for the most part, and I'm hoping to see Moody come out and be just as great as far as filling in that position. I'm biased. I'm looking forward to him. I'm hoping that he looks better than Robbie, but that's just me. I'm a Moody fan.
Well,
I
if you
think he
think
can.
about it, we're saving some money getting a
Absolutely.
rookie kicker,
Hmm.
you know, and I'm just the only thing I got to say is I hope he's really, really good. He better be good, Took him 99th overall, right? I mean, that's
Absolutely.
pretty much all I got to say about it.
Yeah, real
So,
quick, jump in on this question. Yeah, I got to witness Janikowski getting drafted. My dad and me both were like, "What?" Because at that time I was getting into like playing football a little bit. So, and I started playing kicker. So we were both like, just like, "What?" So
But look how that guy turned out.
that turned out to be a good decision for him. He was
Yep.
off the sides too much, and I think that got him replaced out of Oakland, but he still made it to Seattle, and he still was a kicker, and he was a good kicker. So, um, I mean, shout out to Al Davis. I swear, he was reading the sports column to see who had the fastest 40 time, and somebody come up and talk to him, and he stopped reading,
Exactly.
and his finger was on Janikowski. Like, damn it!
That's what we're taking.
That's who we're taking.
Yeah,
dude,
he went
that's
crazy for that
so.
for his draft.
So other than Janikowski, can you guys name a Raiders first round pick that has worked out? That's what I thought.
Dun,
Yep.
dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, they historically have not done well in the first round. I mean, this goes like all the way back to the 90s, and I don't know what they're doing wrong, but it's a them problem, not an us problem. So, right?
We got a great question from the notorious Gav. Question is it now or never for Juice to win a ring this year? We have some big contracts coming up. So is this Juice's final year in the Bay? Oh my gosh. I think we could be onto something right here because I think they have Jake Colito.
Jack Coletto.
Jack Colito. Oh my gosh, the guy from Oregon. He is like an offensive
Mhm.
weapon. Step into being that new fullback. I think Juice is he's part of the team, like building block stones, you can even the Cabo click if you want to say it like that. But he is definitely one of those guys they're trying to win a Super Bowl with. And I really hope they can do it this year. I think if they win a Super Bowl this year, they might be able to bring everybody back next year for like cheap or something or try to reach. But at that point, I think the team will kind of like just a little bit because some people will want to go to a different team to get a bag and they'll have that like I want a ring, so now I just want the money, And I think this could very well be Juice's last year, especially if they win a Super Bowl.
And there's only so many times that
Precisely.
a football player is going to be willing to allow the team to restructure their contracts, because at the end of the day, they want to see a promising paycheck to go home with instead of a promise of next year I got you. But that's what I was saying earlier today is with core, there's only so many guys, Kittle, he's getting up there in age. He's not going to, he has a rap sheet of being injured and he's the best tight end we have. And, he's been able like last year, one-handed catches and, getting in the middle of, a couple of defenders and getting pancaked, but still completing a catch. We rely on him a lot, maybe not as much as we should. And he's part of that core of guys that we need to, if we're going to try to win this, we want to win it with these guys, it might not necessarily be on them because sometimes the guys are doing their jobs. They're coming out there with their skill. And maybe at the end of the day, it's the coaching, the play calls, if the guys run a certain play and they click with this kind of run, and then you go and change it because maybe you need to, pick up the pace a little bit and then it kind of throws off their momentum. I just want to see these guys that are still here with us to definitely get that ring. And that includes Juice because I like Juice and those guys, they all deserve a ring. All the disparities they've been going through and ups and downs that they've come through together. I mean, that doesn't necessarily win you a Super Bowl, but I feel in their heart and their skill that they can. It's just, last year we shouldn't have went out for it, but that wasn't their fault. That's sometimes a victim of circumstance.
So what do you guys think of this? I think me and Tony were able to say it. What do you think, David, about the Juice situation?
I honestly think that this could be his last season with us. His contract, I believe it's the last year of his contract. He's 32 years old, Comes a point in time where you got to replace the man. And, we do have that Swiss Army knife, undrafted free agency. And we have an offensive lineman I would like to see playing fullback, Poe. The guy's incredibly athletic for his size. And, I mean, watching a 300-pound man go through the hole and pancake all the linebackers at once would be so great.
Yes. Definitely needed, especially, the strength that the offensive line has been lacking. Don't let that defense run through us, because somehow, I don't know why our line's been so weak, but, you just got to, if you have some big guys on that line that can take out multiple players, that's great. Just give our quarterback the time that he needs to make his play, and that's really all it's about. Let the quarterback make his play without freaking out on us or getting taken down. Yeah, I'm very glad. I don't like to bring up Mr. James Garoppolo, but that's one of those things I can gladly say I'm very thankful for this year. Is, thank you, Mr. King, for what you have done, but it is so refreshing to see that we are moving on.
What do you think, Lawrence? Do you think this is Juice's last year?
I think that Miss Tony almost made me throw up in my mouth right now saying that name. Anytime I hear that name, it's like just automatic regurgitation. As far as Juice, I think Notorious made a good point. I think he has 2 years left on his deal, but we have the out if he craps the bed this year or just as regular. And then we have so many players that I think that we could piece in to replace him. We do have Poe. We do have Coletto. I think it's how we say his name, right? And we know what Kyle does. He's the red shirt God. So we draft these players with no expectation for them to play, just no reason, or sign them, whatever. No idea that they're going to be playing this year at all. Big City in the building. What's up, Big City? Yes. So when we do that, we may have the person on the team already set to replace Juice. And after this year is when I think it'll happen. Contract size, age. And then as we know, Bill Walsh, as us Niners fans, I believe, know, he was someone that will say, I hope it was Bill Walsh that was saying that, get rid of the players a year or so before they're over the hill or they can't play as well anymore. And while Juice is still really kicking butt for us, still catching the passes up the seam, all those different types of things, we appreciate Juice greatly. But at some point in time, we're going to have to move on.
I agree. Hey, I got a question, and it's a picture. We kind of did this in my show the other day, so David's kind of aware of it. But let me pull up this picture and get your thoughts on it. And shout out to the chat, everybody. I mean, you guys are making the show really pop. Make sure you tell your mom Happy Mother's Day. Like, this isn't my mama, but this is the one and only who I made a mama. So make sure you get out there and say something. But I wanted to ask you about this question because this is something that significantly happened to the 49ers organization, and they had to kind of backtrack on it. So I'm going to bring up the picture. It's going to cover our beautiful faces, but I want to get your thoughts on it, and we'll move from there. Do you remember this in history? Do you remember the logo? Like it, love it. Are you glad they didn't move forward with that? I mean, I don't know. Like,
that looks like trash to me. Oh, what is that?
And there's our two guys. There's Mooch and Steve Mariucci and Brett Favre. And I brought this picture up the other day on my show when we were talking. We were going over like just changes that's happened with the coaching era and like the umbrella tree and stuff. What's funny is Mooch is Brett Favre's old quarterback coach in Green Bay, and then he came over to San Francisco, and then we had a hard time beating Brett Favre. I thought that was weird. But yeah, I wanted to bring up the emblem. I wanted to bring up the emblem because they almost changed the SF on her helmet to that nasty 49er, I don't know what you call it. And then after that, they've kind of moved forward with it. I want to say maybe like the 2000s, maybe the 2009s. They changed how they started putting the 49er logo more like that instead of the saloon font. So again, I'm like one of those guys, it's like I like my coffee a certain way. I don't want to keep changing it and stuff. And I like my 49ers the same red. I'm not a big fan on change. I'm a little bit of a conservative if you want to, go that way. But hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So that's my thoughts. But
yeah, I think that would have been a horrendous decision. About as good a bad a decision as taking that picture with Brett Favre, as Tommy's saying. Shout out to Mooch. Shout out to the Moochster, though. I don't think he got enough credit for his tenure with us. That's just me personally. And he still underlying this a little bit loves the Niners when you hear him talk about it, I think, to this day. But yeah, I think that would have been just a horrific decision for Carmen and all them to change our emblem from the classic, lovely, sexy SF to that ugly 49ers. With 3 different shades, and it looks like a second grader drew that. No, I think it's good that we I hate Aaron Moore too, Notorious. He's the one. But no, I think that would have been a bad decision, and thank the Niner gods that we did not do that.
Yeah, they had social media wasn't there at the time, but they had so many people that called into the organization, wrote letters that the next day they said, no, we're not doing that. And I think that was probably one of the best decisions that DeBartolo made. It's like you gotta put the clamp down on that. You can't let that go out.
Yeah, you don't want people to stop buying your jerseys.
We're almost coming up to an hour, and we're having a lot of fun, guys. I think we should probably end it here, and we should go around the round table and tell everybody what we got going on. But before then, I like telling dad jokes, but since it's Mother's Day, I think this is the best time for Tony to have a Mother's Day joke come on up. So,
of course.
So we're gonna roll down at the bottom, and we're gonna go from there. So go ahead, Tony, read it out if you would.
My kids not to flip the fish sticks halfway through cooking, but I love that. Thank God my kids don't like fish sticks.
So remember, if your mom went in there and flipped your fish sticks in the oven, she's looking out for you, but she just let them cook. Well, you didn't starve either, all right? So, love is love,
They're all still hot.
Yeah, they're still hot.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters, that both sides are cooked. And it's hot in the middle. That's the most important thing. So we're good. but check out the Notorious. He said, well, hey, Notorious, we were. And I said that earlier. I still don't regret it, Aaron. I still don't regret it. And none of the faithful do. He says, weren't we supposed to regret not drafting Rodgers? Still waiting. Waiting like Ryan Reynolds. Yep.
So I watched this clip, this breakdown thing of it. If we would have supposedly got Aaron Rodgers instead of getting Alex Smith, there's a good chance he would have got hurt too in his first year. We didn't have a team around Alex Smith when he first came in. I think I've said this a couple times, Alex Smith's first game, he injured his throwing shoulder. So that's why we've had it back and forth with him at quarterback starting his entire time. I'm not a big Tim Rattay fan, but Tim Rattay almost took the job from Alex Smith. And, if he didn't have so many coordinators, maybe he would have played differently. But it's hard to say that we would have been as bad with Aaron Rodgers. But it's really easy to say, if we would have won some of those games, we might have missed out on Navarro Bowman, Patrick Willis. Yeah. We would have missed out on some of these players that were key components to getting us to this. When Harbaugh did come on, and he had a built team. He just had to say, okay, you need to stand right here and turn sideways, and that was it. He didn't even have to really teach these guys. He already had a team built. So, I like Aaron Rodgers. I think you guys kind of know that already, but I love beating him more than thinking, oh, we should go get him, or I wish we would have had him. it could have happened. It's kind of like one of those things. It's like, man, I could have done that. I could have bought that car, but you didn't. So we settled for Alex Smith, or we chose Alex Smith, and now we gotta live with what we did. I mean, you can't keep going back and saying, oh, we should have, could have, would have. You should have, could have, would have, but you didn't. And he's had his opportunities a couple times. I think we've tried to go out and get him a couple times, and I think the mutual feelings are like, hey, if we can make it work, let's make it work. But at the end of the day, the guy just wants money. He'd retire, play Jeopardy or, run Jeopardy if he got paid enough. So at the end of the day, let him go do what he needs to do. And
well, let's talk about Rogers for just a second.
Ruin Jeopardy for me.
I don't know a lot about him, but one thing
I love Jeopardy
is that he doesn't go, like, he would not come to his training camps and practice with his offensive line. Like, he wouldn't throw to his guys. So, I mean, like, if you have a quarterback like that, how can you gain trust to want to work with somebody like that? Like, if you're supposed to build a brotherhood and, be comfortable with, catching that guy's ball or, get in the pass or hand off, how can you get into a clique or into, like, some sort of, hey, I know you work. If you're not ever there to work with them, I'm just supposed to expect how you work. I don't ever see you come to camp like the rest of our guys that are waiting for you to throw us the ball or whatever. That's just, I don't appreciate somebody like that. Yeah, and like there's guys.
No, you're good.
I was just gonna say there's guys that would rather pay the penalty than to come to camp to practice with their guys. And I get it if you have going on, that hey, I can't make it because I got a family issue or health issue or I'm trying to nurse my leg or whatever, then I can understand that. But to just simply say, nah, it's not, I don't find it to be worth it to go and practice with you guys when at the end of the day, you get up, that's your family. You come home to your family and, you're going to build this brotherhood of these guys, and to sit there and almost exactly act like, they're like insignificant, oh, I'm just going to pay these thousands of dollars because I don't want to come and play with you guys. But that's what you get paid to do. You just get paid to come and play. And for somebody like Aaron Rodgers to sit back and be like, nah, I'm not going to do it. I'll just throw you the ball. I'll just hand it. I expect you to know what I'm going to do. Like, I don't know. That's just weird.
It's his attitude.
It's his attitude.
Well, Aaron Rodgers, I mean, think about this. We draft him. And Bryant said it. 7 coordinators in 7 years. He would have been joining us at the worst time humanly possible when the Yorks were learning how to actually run an NFL franchise. So it could have literally ruined his career. He should be glad we didn't draft him back then.
Absolutely. Especially with as many times as we beat him in an NFC championship. Like, you can't even home games.
Is he that great? Would we have ever drafted Colin Kaepernick if we had drafted Aaron Rodgers? We would have never drafted Colin Kaepernick in the second round. Think about that, faithful.
I got one to top that. Would Kaepernick ever started again, or at all, if we would have got Peyton Manning?
No.
It was the Dolphins, the Broncos, and us, and we had just gotten Kaepernick. Kaepernick was sitting on the bench for his first year, and then the second year, Alex got hurt in the Rams game, and Kaepernick took over from there. But we potentially could have Peyton Manning for 2 to 4 years. We would have won 4 Super Bowls. I mean,
damn right. And he saw the field.
Yeah, we had the defense, and I know he was, he had his neck injury, and they said he couldn't throw it as much. But oh my God, that was the one I think we let get away. At a certain point, you don't want to go ring chasing, but when you have an opportunity to take, like the MVP of the league, and got to pay him a little bit more money. I mean, like, overall, would any one of us here sitting here be mad if he would have got us one Super Bowl? We'll just say one Super Bowl. And he had a small percentage of the 49ers because that's what he wanted. He wanted to be part owner, right? And now he's like, part owner of the Broncos, or he tried to become part owner of the Broncos. Yeah. So that's what like Brady's trying to do with Tampa Bay, or with Miami, and with the Raiders. He wants to own a franchise. So I could see their thoughts and them loving sports and wanting to be part of that. But I wouldn't be mad if the Niners would have just said, "Hey, here's the Golden Gate Bridge. Come play for us." I don't know. big joke of mine is when we lose to Seattle, we have to paint the Golden Gate Bridge green. But
Oh no.
Oh,
I
my
hope
bad.
I hope it never
Never.
happens. You know, I hope they never.
Hopefully
bet.
never.
I hope with the changes that they made to the team this year, we'll be able to pull it through and sweep the whole division like we did last year. Because I'm looking forward to that turkey leg on the 50-yard line on TV.
It's
So
gonna
with that,
happen.
with that, let's go ahead and close out. Platform, what do you got going on the rest of the week, and where can we find you? How do we find you? I know how to find you, but how do the good people here who probably all subscribe, but if you're not,
I think
but you
I think
do,
we're all love. We're all love here. Everybody here is already probably subscribed to everybody. But with that, I want to say thank you first of all to Tony and Bryant for having me on this morning. Thank you to David for jumping on with us, brother. I sincerely appreciate you. Good to see you. Happy Mother's Day again to you, Miss Tony. To everybody in the chat, you
you.
guys, this thing, you're very welcome. It didn't stop moving the whole time, getting my peripheral the whole time. So thank you to all of y'all. Happy Mother's Day to all your moms. Where you can find me, of course, is Platform 246. Step up with us. I appreciate that. I'm going to be live streaming. No disrespect to any of you, and I feel for you in my heart. But I will be live streaming the Western Conference Finals, Laker Nation. Now we know, Brian and Tony are on the right side of the law. To the rest of you, my apologies. But we will be live streaming the Laker game. Oh, yeah, Big City got it up. They can paint it purple and yellow for the Lakers. Spank in the. I only want it. Don't unsubscribe. Just because I like the Lakers doesn't mean you have to unsubscribe. Okay, it's okay. We can all still be. So, and then maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow, we also on Platform 246. We take you anywhere you want to go, y'all. So we could take you to the WWE. We might be doing Monday Night Raw tomorrow night. Just depends on how I feel after a long day of work. But definitely Tuesday we will be, live streaming the Western Conference Finals Game 1, and we drop short form videos, shorts, and everything. So I don't just stream. Shut up, Tommy. I don't just stream. We drop videos all the time. So at any point in time, look out for the channel. If you're subscribed, turn on your ding the bell. Ding for all three, for everybody here. Ding, put your notifications on. It's important, folks. You can have me pop up with a video at any time. So I appreciate everybody. Thank you for the seat again today. Happy couple.
thank you very much. Hey, David, what do you got going on? I'd probably be doing something similar with you, but why don't you tell us where we can find you, what you got going on, and anything you want to tell us about today, or anything.
Well, pretty soon here, I got to figure it all out, but I'm going to be firing up my YouTube channel and making my first video. And it is David McNiner, the name that you see. Oh, right there.
Nice.
And then tomorrow I'll be streaming with my guy Bryant. We got Joe C on, right?
Johnny
So
Chisari.
Huh?
Johnny
Right?
Chisari. Johnny C.
Johnny Chisari. So that ought to be a good one. And then right after that, I'll be going straight into the round check over on CG's. And then Thursday we got later on tonight, actually, we have the awards show for the Niners trivia on Corey Davis. That's at I think, is it 8 p.m. Pacific time? I think, or it could be 9. I could be wrong. It could be 8 p.m. my time. It's something like that. But y'all go watch that on Corey Davis with the Corey with a K. And then same channel on Thursday, 49ers trivia. And then hopefully our guy Ryan's got his schedule all figured out and we can do the hangout show on Friday night again.
Awesome. Yeah. Same thing with you. I'm going to be going on Corey later tonight. Hopefully, he's going to have a great show. Always has a great show. Here is, I think it's it's going to be his announcement of what's our trivia results. Thank you, Tony. And then after that, the next day, I think our show's at 7:30 tomorrow. And I think the reason the scheduling is a little different tomorrow, or it's 6. I'll double check with you tomorrow and give you the time. I have
6:15 because he has to work late.
Yeah, so we're going to be going on at 6:15. I think that'll be 7:15 your time for Johnny C. And it'll be about an hour show, and we're going to let him come on and talk and get his breakdown of the team's analysis. And our Monday shows, it kind of jumps up and down a little bit because of some of our guests. Our following week, we'll have Jay in the Bay coming in on our Monday show, and when he comes in, I think our show will be a 7:30 show because of his work schedule. But we're going to try to keep it 5:15 as much as possible, so we can get into other shows, the NWO and CG round table, because there's a lot of channels that stream at 6-7 o'clock, and we're just trying to get in that window before then. But sometimes, again, if you guys are in the chat, or if somebody like Gavin, you ever want to do a stream, just reach out to us and we'll get you on as a guest so we can hear your thoughts and stuff. Love to hear the thoughts of people from all over the world. And again, like David, you ever have somebody you just tell me, we'll bring them in. I want to help you as well with your channel. We're going to put the links in the description for both of us, for all three of us here, so you guys can come back, like it, follow everybody here. Moving on from there, it's like Thursday will be Corey's show, and then we'll find out with Ryan. And if Ryan's not doing something, then me and you can do something, David. Maybe me, you, and Platform can do something depending on the Lakers schedule, and we'll go from there. So everybody, please like, subscribe to everybody here, because David does have a channel. You just type in David McNiner. He's got like almost 30 subs, I think. You're doing really good. Tony, let me have Tony actually tell you what she's got going on, because she's got a channel too, and you can find her at Tony Culp. And she's got something. I'm going to let her talk.
Yeah, so this week on Thursday, we're going to be having our first show, Ladies of the Empire, where I have Niner Jess from East Coast Red and Gold. I'm going to have Peachy. Then I'm also going to have Dina repping the Bay. And I'm going to have the lovely Miss Dina Harvey. And I'm thinking about 2 weeks, we're going to have your girl Bex, who you can also find on East Coast Red and Gold. So it's going to be about every 2 weeks. Potentially, I like to have every week. But we're going to start out slow. And then I know as we get closer to the season, we're going to have a lot of things going on, so the panel can change up, but it's going to be an all-girls roundtable, just ladies of the Empire talking Niner football, and that'll be this Thursday for the first episode at 5:15 Pacific time. So if you're available this Thursday, come check out Tony Culp's channel, 5:15 Pacific time, and we'll try to have a show for about an hour, maybe 2 hours, depending on how excited the girls get and how much they want to talk. But we'll be talking about quarterbacks. We're going to be talking about the newly released schedule, and we're going to be talking about the offensive line.
Yeah, and your show is called what?
The Ladies of the Empire.
Ladies of the Empire, because she does things on her channel.
It's no better.
But that show is going to be Thursdays, so you guys can put it down as a calendar. The first week, we'll find out if it's going to be every week or if it's going to be twice a month. But again, she's trying to get different Ladies of the Empire in. It's going to be a panel, a consistent panel, but sometimes the girls' schedules some girls will have to come next week. And if that happens, there might be a different girl or a different face that you see. So if you're interested, reach out to Tony as well, because we're trying to build an all-girls panel for the faithful. So we'd love to hear people's thoughts and how they feel about the score. Us guys, we can talk all the time, but sometimes it's nice hearing these girls over here talk. And it's definitely a lot prettier to look at them than us, right? So, but shout out to everybody. Thank you for coming. And with that, guys, I'm going to say Happy Mother's Day to everybody. And Happy Go Niners. Let's go that way.
Niner gang.
And with that, thank you guys so much. Lawrence, David, thank you again. You guys have a great
Thank
weekend.
you all. Y'all be safe. Happy Mother's Day. Niner gang.
Yep. Go 49ers and F the Lambs.
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
Peace out, y'all.